We rollin'! Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for podcast.
What's happening, world? It's your boy Michael the Menace Johnson.
Holla at your boy, Coach Jones.
Coach G Jones. Another episode of Menace is Mike. Your boy's got the hood on today, Hoodie Mellow. And we have a great guest, a really good friend of mine. Too much of a friend, long time. Matt Meathead Mitrione.
What's up, you beautiful stallions, you guys?
What's up, Matthew?
I'll tell you what, after today, I'm kind of surprised I made it in. I thought it was going to be a little rough one.
Yeah.
Coach Gregory was trying to kick my butt, showing me some wrestling stuff today at the gym. And I was
gave
like,
up
man,
on
listen.
that a long time ago.
Yeah, for real. You know it's not going to work. It's like trying to teach a statue how to do something athletic.
Matt don't
Not going
wrestle.
to work. Yeah.
Matt don't
I'm a one-trick
wrestle.
pony, buddy. That's all I am. If the ball's on knees, I'll be all
Let's
right.
just get active.
Yeah, if I was touching the mat with my hands or my knees, not so much, man. Not so much.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Well, I know everybody has to know the legend Matt Mitrione, UFC vet, Bellator vet. What other promotions?
I did that little one-off with Triad.
Yeah, the
Like,
Triad.
it was funny, man. So I
Triad.
fought my last fight in Bellator the day after my birthday, July 16th in 21, and it was like the second fight in a row. Literally the first touch of the fight was a headbutt. And I was like, what in the fuck is going on? And I like raged. I freaked out. I had a fucking lemon on my head. And I was so mad about it. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this sport. I'm done. I'm retired. So that was July 16th. I get a phone call like middle of November. And they're like, hey, man, how would you say to fight in a boxing match, but it's kind of modified rules? And I was like, well, what are you talking about? And what's the paycheck for it, you know? And 2 weeks later, I'm fighting in the middle of Dallas in Arlington, Texas, at where somebody plays on some sport, I don't know, and I'm fighting some like number 10 ranked boxer in the world, and I was like, sure, what the hell? It was one of Vitor's crazy ideas, like the little triangle.
Yeah, I almost did that.
It was fun. I mean, it really was a good time. Because we were supposed to be able to trap wrists behind backs and stuff like that too, and then and throw like spinning back fists. And so when I did, I trapped his wrist twice, and they kept telling me I couldn't do it. So I got out of one, and I just threw a spinning back fist just for the fun of it. Fuck him.
Matthew, I have a feeling, Mike, that this thing could just go off the rails pretty easily here.
Yeah,
so
I've
let's
been drinking
let's
today
get
too,
to
so-
important.
Oh yeah.
I was going to do a strip club. We were going to do a strip club lunch buffet today just for the fun of it.
no.
And then we found out they don't open until 2 o'clock. So I was going to be lit
Too early
today.
for a strip club.
What kind of club?
Yeah, we were going to go to a lunch buffet at a strip club. My wife and I were going to go get weird today.
That's late.
But
Two
Matt,
o'clock. I could have took you to a place where they got some decent lunch.
No,
bro.
you go gym and home.
Yeah.
That's where you go.
That's
That's
where
it.
I was gonna
gym,
drop him
stop
off.
at the
Hey, 'cause
studio.
Mike falls in love way too fast, so we got to keep Mike parametered
I
real
might
quick.
fall in love too fast, but I fall out of love just as fast.
We hot. But Matthew, back to your previous point. Whenever I think of you, I think of a lot of things, but as it pertains to fighting, and then we'll veer off to wherever we want. But you are someone that I think has managed the back end of their professional fighting career as well as anybody. Granted, a big part of that is you got the short end of the stick for the most of your career, so you had no choice but to try to figure out some business things on the back end. Can you talk about that, about leaving the UFC and just kind of how you figured things out?
Yeah, man. I come off as playfully and willfully ignorant as imaginable, right? Like I'm a very free living character, and even in life, I'm that same way. But I do have a rather sound mind, especially when it comes to business. And what really set, and I had offers. The UFC more than doubled my money to stay in the UFC when I left, but it just wasn't
For still shit.
Yeah,
Double
yeah.
was still shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It was still garbage. I think I fought. Well, I was on the Ultimate Fighter contract, right?
Contract.
Yeah, my first 3 fights were for 8 and 8, right? So I fought Marcus Jones for 8 and 8. Then I fought Kimbo I beat Kimbo. I got $16,000 for beating Kimbo.
In your second UFC fight?
Yeah, my second UFC fight. And then Brad Smuckler, great dude. A phenomenal accountant, by the way. That dude's a gangster.
He's my guy. He's my accountant.
So Brad, was like the gift check, the bonus check guy. So Brad came by and gave me a $10,000 check. He goes, "Hey, here's a check for you. The people are really happy with what you did. It rhymes with $10,000," and gave me a $10,000 check. So I got 26 G's for beating Kimbo.
That's bullshit.
Right, and then but back in the day when sponsors were there, so I made like 75 G's in sponsors.
What was Kimbo at? At what stage of his UFC career was that?
That was his only fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was his only one. And then because we just had the show, and then he fought Houston Alexander, and then I fought Kimbo, and then since I smoked Kimbo, they cut him because he was exposed as quickly as possible, and they didn't expect me to win. Plus, I don't really like keeping a lot of Ultimate Fighter guys on the roster. Like they like to do them maybe one, maybe two. My year we had Brendan Schaub, myself, and Roy. And so, the three of us that stuck around for that long was an anomaly for sure. Yeah. But so then once they took away the sponsorship money, I was like, dude, that's my primary source of income because I'm such a personality. I've built a character, but they wanted characters. They wanted people like that. We actually had days when they did the first couple of fighter symposiums where they bring everybody in, fighter summits. Yeah. They brought people in, and they were like, hey, they would keep some people a third day. And the third day was like, hey, these are the personalities that we want. And so they kept me. That's the day I almost got in a fight with Tito. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that was the third day. So anyway, so we're there. So we're doing this, whatever we're doing.
Come back to that.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so we're on the third day, and they're like, hey, listen, you guys are the ones that we see a future with here. So let's build this. This is how you build it. This is your branding. This is how you're going to do what you're going to do. And it was what I was always doing, just being a free spirit, wild seed, whatever else. But I got branded as the crazy white boy. So that's what I am anyway. So fuck it, let's ride, It's not much of a ride to jump on it. And then when they took away sponsorship money, I was like, listen, I never fought Chris Lytle, my mentor, right? Great dude. Yeah. He told me from the jump, he's like, hey, don't be comfortable with the bonus money because someday they're going to take that away. And he kind of gave me a couple of examples. I don't remember what it was, but it was examples of how things change over time. Like they used to give us this, and this, and now they do this, right? So he's like, don't be comfortable because then you're going to be a guy sitting there with your dick in your hand asking, hey, sir, hey, buddy, hey, sir, where's my check at? Didn't I fight hard enough for you, massa? And then that happened. Then they stopped giving away those bonus checks. And then I was like, well, shit. I should have fought harder for my own money, for a larger pay jump, but I was on the Ultimate Fighter contract. I didn't think I could, whatever else. So I had, 15 fights in the UFC, and then all of a sudden, they took away sponsorship money. So now my personality doesn't even matter anymore. So now you're going to give me 15 G's, and I was getting 70 G's or 55 or whatever the hell it was. Well, that doesn't make any sense. So then I went to Lorenzo Fertitta. This is a really long-winded answer for your question.
No, I like it.
So I went to Lorenzo Fertitta right before my last fight. Actually, it was backstage when we were doing weigh-ins when I fought Travis Brown. And I was like, hey, man, the Reebok deal doesn't make any sense. And he's like, oh, really? Please tell me why. Right? And Lorenzo's a good-ass dude. I like Lorenzo. Yeah. But there is a 100% of a talking down tone if there's something he doesn't appreciate, right? Because he's thought this all through, right? But my position was, I was like, look, I'm not trying to throw Henry under the bus, but Henry corners 35 times a year, right? So 35 weekends a year, Henry's leaving his family and going off somewhere else, right? When he does, he gets his bag of goods, right? You get shoes, you get T-shirts, you get shorts, you get jock straps, whatever the hell you're looking for, you got it from Reebok, right? Well, I'm a fighter. This was built on my back. And I only go to two things because I don't know shit about fighting, so I don't corner anybody. So I get 2 bags a year. So you're telling me my coach, right, doesn't get punched in the face. He's paid his own dues. I understand that, and I'm not downgrading him. But he goes to all these events, and he gets the lion's share of what I fought for, what I bled for, what I get stitches for, what I have arthritis for. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. So I'm not going to come to you with a problem. I'm going to come to you with a solution. He goes, yeah, what is it? And I go, why don't we do a laundering system where you guys issue clothing, and it comes back. Now everybody's allowed to lose one or two, articles of clothing or whatever the hell it is, shoes or whatever, and they can go sell it on eBay or whatever the hell they do. I don't care, right? But you can't lose the whole bag. So then that all gets kind of filled back in. Hey, we're missing this. Cool, thanks a lot, buddy, right? And then there's like a big rack, and everybody that goes to UFC or Coach Henry is on the card to go. Michael and Coach Greg and Henry and Robbie Lawler, right? That's your 3 corners you're going to bring. So once your name gets thrown in the kitty, then you fill out who the corner is going to be. They ship all that stuff to wherever the fight is, and Henry gets his all stuff. It's all been dry cleaned or cleaned and laundered and folded and whatever else, right? So Henry now has Michael Johnson's kit, whatever else. I was like, that way, we don't have to buy all the clothing, and then all the superfluous everythings that the people are getting that aren't bleeding for it can be turned into cash. And at the end of it, then we can do a position where like the most main events, the most bonuses, the most knockouts, the most finishes, the most submissions, blah, 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 gets a kicker, right? Out of all that gets split up and evenly kitty, right? If you're on the undercard, but you had finishes here, you get a little bit more of a kicker than your undercard if you didn't, whatever else. But you got to keep the Lions happy. And he looked at me and goes, no. Literally just that, just no.
But the flip side of that, though, is, and I thought about a similar thing to you, is why not invest in these coaches? Why not align, why not formalize a structure where the coaches can now be part of the system, be built into the structure, and allow any UFC, Reebok, Venom, whatever money invested in the coaches, which then gets trickled down into the gym and hopefully gets spread out amongst the athletes. I don't know the likelihood of that, but I've considered these things before.
They don't care about that shit.
I think that's, yeah, they don't. But,
they don't. That's the real answer.
Yeah,
but
they don't care.
You guys as in coaches.
I have 8 duffel bags of UFC apparel in my garage, full.
100%.
If you want them, hit me up. I'll sell them to you.
I'll sell them to you on eBay. $59.99.
But just sit there. But just sit there.
But 100%. And that was part of my argument. But you guys are on camera so much more than we are.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Like, you only see my face a couple of different times unless I see some outrageous, outlandish shit, and then I'll be on for 15 minutes of fame, right? But you guys are there all the time.
We had 70 UFC fights last year.
Yeah. Dude, and our gym is so fucking deep, man. I mean, there's so many people there, and there's so much talent. Like, meet day in our gym is serious, dude. Like, it's so serious. If fried Greg's perm, he had to go get it twisted down because it looked terrible.
Had to get those braids put in.
Tighten up, boy.
Those braids.
My wig back.
Were you around in the UFC after Lorenzo? How long were you there?
So that was my last fight.
I feel like you just left.
I know, right?
It was abrupt.
The thing was,
But I knew my money value. So I went in, I was making 33 and 33. And
15 fights in.
15 fights in, I'm making 33 and 33.
You could make 65,000.
Yeah. Lucky you, buddy. Right. And then on top of that, like, you still only get one flight, right? You get 2 hotel rooms. No, you get one hotel room. You get one hotel room. You get one flight.
4 grown ass men got to share. I don't know how the fuck they did that.
Yeah, dude. So then I was like, this is fucking bananas. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I jumped ship, and then.
Did you consider retiring then, Matt?
No. They offered me. I think no, because I'm too much of an asshole to retire. Right. I wasn't done competing yet.
Let me show you.
So they, I was 33 and 33. They bumped me to 40 and 40, and I was like, fuck off. Like, how dare you? Actually, I think it was even less than that. It might have been like 37, 37. And I was like, fuck off. And then that was, I think, Brad Smuckler. And I was like, no, man, like, that's not going to work. So then I get a call from Dana being like, hey, we hear that you said no to this, that you think you're worth this. What do you think you're worth? I'm like, it's not that easy. Like, I've got a position to show you about why I'm as viable as I am. So that's what I want to do. And he's like, all right, well then schedule a time with, no, it was Lorenzo that called. It wasn't Dana.
Yeah, Lorenzo's the guy. Like,
yeah.
For people that don't, like, when he left the UFC, I think, obviously they sold and they got their money. He wanted to get out. But he was a very good person to have involved in the UFC. He understood the fighters. He listened. And not only that, he could almost relate in a sense. You know, it was weird to me.
Well, because his boys were athletes too, so he knew the athletic mindset. So it wasn't like somebody who never had to do it or go through it.
Yeah, you talk to him in backstage and everything, and you can actually see him listening, and going through the things. And then, he got his money, and it became more of a business
Went
as
corporate,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah, it went too corporate. You know, like Lorenzo, like, hey, I
that's a
got
kiss of
a
death.
problem. I got a problem. Lorenzo, let's sit down and talk. All right, yeah, Michael, no problem for sure. And you want to have that relationship with the big guy. And I was building that relationship, and right when I was fucking building it, they sold it. And I was like, come on, dog, I'm trying to get up.
When I talked to Lorenzo on the phone, he's like, "Oh, schedule a time, come in and see me." Okay, cool. So we did, and I did a shit ton of homework as far as like my card placement, my final, my finishes, my record, all at the time, blah blah blah, who I fought, yada yada. And then I went in there, and it was Lorenzo, me, and his stenographer, like the person who takes all the notes, his attorney probably. And he goes, "Well, where's your agent?" And I go, "I don't need an agent because A, I'm going to represent myself.
Young fighters, listen up here.
I'm gonna keep my pennies, right? There's no reason for me, because you're going to say no, right? I know that 100%, but I'm at least gonna state my position and show my value here and show you I'm not afraid to put my dick on the table, right? To me, that's worth my salt, no matter what the situation is. Now, granted, I have an attorney on retainer, right? But that's only when I come talk to him about, hey, this is what was presented to me, because whatever I show Lorenzo at the time, either he's gonna say yes if it's undervalued, right? Or he's gonna say I have to think about it if it's appropriate or overvalued. So I told Lorenzo, he's like, all right, let's just cut this, nip it in the bud. I had a volume of documents. I was like, listen, I can go through all this if you want, or we can just talk. He's like, listen, I believe I know all those statistics. Let's just go ahead and talk. All right, bet. So we started talking about whatever, and he's like, listen, man, he's like, you were 33 and 33, let's jump you up to 70 and 70. I go, I don't want to seem ungrateful and act like I don't appreciate that, but I'm worth much more than 140 on a winning purse, right? Yeah. So throw me, I think I even said, like, throw me 125 on a flat. Throw me 125 flat, because you know what show I give. I don't fight safe. I don't lay and pray. I don't try to get dudes pregnant. I go in on a fucking scrap. So reward me for being the man that I am. Let's do this. That way I can budget against my family. If you get 70 and 70, right? $70,000 is a lot of money, I understand. 140 is obviously a substantial amount of money. But if I'm in that situation and I lose, I can't budget my long term to know how much I'm going to put away, where I'm going to put my kids' 529C. You know, everything else I have going on, I need to be able to figure that out. So give me this flat number just to say, hey, I respect what you do. Go on, keep doing what you do, right? Yeah. And he was like, no. That was a real simple answer. And he's like, we just don't give A, flat purses, and B, we're just not going to do that. Like, this is how we feel that, not that you feel your worth, but we feel this is what the market is right here. Okay, cool. So I told him, I was like, all right, after I fuck up Travis Brown, I'm coming back and I'm going to ask for double. And he goes, I hope you do. All right. And then I lost that fight. And then I went to Bellator. And I think I started out at like 175 or some 150 flat or something with Bellator.
Yeah, big jump.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I wanted. And then, but I knew, and then when I went to Bellator, this is small and this is semantics, but I got 4 flights, right? I got 3 hotel rooms if I wanted them, right? Like, I got my per diem, right, was like $1,000. So like, this is all things that I didn't even negotiate. They just did to sweeten the pot to make it seem like I wanted to be there. Because the UFC would have taken me back, right? It didn't matter. And I would have gotten the pay raise I wanted. But Bellator was like, listen, we need a name. We need a fighting style. We need a personality. So come be this dude for us.
That division was really good, and you fit right into that division at that time, if I recall.
Yeah, well,
it was a good move all the way around.
At that moment, I was 100% the best heavyweight they had on their roster, right? And I knew it, and I said it, and I didn't. That's exactly what they wanted, the brashness, right? That's who I am. I'm as brash as it gets.
Was that when you got in Bellator? Fedor, was that your biggest?
I mean, obviously beating Fedor is gonna be the biggest, right? For sure. Over time, I would say Fedor. This hurts. This hurts to do this. I like him a lot too. But to put him in this position, because it's a bit of a pedestal, but I will. It is the one against Fedor is obviously 1A, right? Then 2B, right? Because there's nobody in between. It's got to be Fedor. Then 2B has to be Derek Lewis. Because Derek Lewis is a knockout king, right? He intimidates everybody. He comes in there. I knocked Derek out in 41 seconds. He didn't even touch me, you know? Like, and he called me out by name. He just smoked Guto. Yeah. Right? And Guto was a gym killer.
You fought that same weekend.
God
damn. Yeah. No, I was supposed to. That was Stefan Struve. Yes.
So I was supposed that was my first UFC card I ever worked.
Yeah, that was Ronda Rousey. Remember, she tried to cut line. Her little dude tried to get her cut line, and we motherfucked him so hard. He was like, "You better take your bitch ass back to the fucking seats." You remember that, right? Because that motherfucker tried to get involved. And we're like, "Hey,
She tried to cut?
Yeah, hey, little dude, you better fucking catch your breath in the high seats up there, buddy." What was his name? Edmund? Did that motherfucker dissolve? What happened? Once Ronda dissolved, did he dissolve?
He pops up every now and then.
Yeah,
Does
I
he?
mean, he
pops
ain't got
up now.
nobody to
I don't
train
know.
her.
Yeah.
I think he's got a couple guys, but I don't.
The guy that just fought Brunson, the redhead Shabanian guy, whatever his name is, the redhead kid.
Not at PFL.
No, he's a UFC fighter.
Shabazian? Edmund Shabazian?
Yeah,
That's one of his guys.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
him. Yeah,
yep.
so he's the guy that he's probably got now. But I mean, after Ronda, you know, like people
Yeah.
who say, like, where's Connor's coach? You know, what's his name? Like, he ain't really been around that
Yeah,
much.
what's his
You don't
name?
Really,
Yeah, good point.
Fuck,
I
it's on
think
the
it's,
tip of my
but there's a
tongue.
lot. There's a lot of the
Conor,
Irishmen
yeah,
in
Conor.
Bellator, right? But I just heard that Bellator's sticking around. PFL bought them, but they're keeping them separate entities as of right now. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a sticky. Yeah, at first, it's real sticky what they're trying to do. I think personally, they bit off a little more than they could chew.
I hope not, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I hope not. But you know, I've been hearing stories about people wanting certain types of money that they're not getting, and they can't get it because they can't afford it, and this and that, and so.
Well, I don't even know I don't even know the funding behind PFL. Is that
Saudis. I
There's some
think.
Saudi, but I don't know I don't know the breakdown either.
well?
But
But
Bellator,
the
to your-
Saudis probably not going to run out of money anytime soon.
No, it's not.
No,
probably not.
but they definitely are pretty stingy with it. Probably they're probably like, oh, we're not gonna give you any more.
Unless
money.
you're at one of those weddings I see on film.
Yeah, I know,
They just-
right? It's like, oh, we gave you enough.
Just let it rain. Popping off
that
AK-47s and
oil
throwing
money.
bills, but those dudes let it go.
Tiger.
See, I could go over there and find me a nice little lady had one of those weddings, bro.
Find a nice way. I mean, listen, she's not going to say a word to you in public.
That's
She's going to walk
fine.
behind you, clean your shoes. No fucking way.
Exactly.
But
No,
hey, I
You
hear-
need
What-
conflict.
exactly
you,
what I'm
you
looking
thrive
for.
on conflict, Michael
I'll
Johnson.
create some
Oh, for-
conflict.
hey,
I'll
for
create
real.
conflict.
She was so subservient.
Like,
You'd
you
be
walking
miserable.
too close to me.
You'd start cutting yourself. You'd be so bored. Bitch, you did this to me.
Why does everybody think I like?
Stop. Don't even. Because we know you. That's
Continue.
why.
What is your name again? What's your name? Yeah.
Michael?
Yeah.
Fuck you mean?
What's
man.
it say behind that screen?
Johnson?
Hey, you know what?
But Bellator did do a good job. They in 2022, I remember counting one time, they only done like 6 domestic shows, 2 in Hawaii, and the rest of the shows they did were overseas, and they would go to Dublin. You said.
Yeah, they're going to-
So they built that European card.
Have you fought? Have you been to?
I've never been.
Have you to Dublin?
No, not yet.
I hear it is.
It's on my
It's just a
list.
crazy crowd. Whether it's UFC or Bellator,
Yeah.
the crowd is so electric. Ooh,
Well,
but
they're
and
all
people
drunk.
walk out to that zombie song, and they say
Everybody's-
that joint just pops off.
Everybody's drunk and just having fun.
I mean, I'm trying to live, dog.
Yeah, I see you
what
trying
I'm
to
saying?
live. What's
That shit's still full,
Dude,
man.
I gotta leave here. So I have a good buddy of mine,
Shout out. See
Jack
if we can
Wise,
get
JT
this.
Wise. He's an applied kinesiologist, and he lives down here in Fort Lauderdale. And when I come down here to do some training or whatever else, I go down and see Jack. And it's like AK or applied kinesiology. It's crazy. Do you know what this stuff is?
I want you to tell me. I think I could get close to it, but you tell me.
So, so Michael's right shoulder is connected to his left hip. His right elbow is connected to his left knee, and his wrist to his foot.
this a
But
song?
it's caddy corner, right?
Is that a song?
And, you're so stupid. And so Jack works on certain parts of this to work on this.
And
he
there's
does
a breath
little-
control component to it too, isn't there?
I haven't been to that. I haven't been down that
Okay,
road yet.
go ahead.
But it's he has spent his life. I've known Jack since I grew up with Jack. Like we played high school football together, and I've known him forever. He's a great kid, and he has spent his life like kind of mastering this thing. So I go down there, and he does all this magic stuff that he does, right? And I'll be honest with you, but I'm a placebo pill guy. 100%. Like I don't drink the Kool-Aid very well. I think it works, and I think it works a lot better on other people that really feel like that are I'm in tune with my body, but like I'm rather calloused. And I think people that have like a really open mind that haven't had so many snake oil salesmen come get them. I'm not saying Jack is, but I'm saying but people that have been, everybody chases us, right? Everybody's got the next greatest thing.
Oh,
This,
yeah.
this,
many.
right?
It's terrible.
And so you're always like, cool, man. Yeah, sure, I hear it again. Yeah, sure. So I think I'm so jaded and calloused towards like more new age medicine stuff that it doesn't work as well for me because maybe like I just saw this thing today. Some black dude with a beard and he was on Instagram and he was like, belief is more powerful than ability.
I saw that first thing this morning.
Did you? You saw the same thing? And I was like, you know what? That's not a bad thought at all. If you really believe in it, then it's probably
It'll
going to
work.
do something.
It's gonna work.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was just a random dude.
It's funny you talk about that placebo thing. I got one of these things on now. So this dude gave me this patch he was in the gym yesterday.
Yeah.
Talking about how his patch.
Shout him out, man.
He doesn't know. Stop.
Thank you.
It's the guy. It's the guy.
I would have shouted about it if I fucking remembered everything.
Hey, we had sparring today too. Mike's not. Yeah.
Just got that sparring 6 rounds, bro. Give me a break. I'm tired of this shit. I think his name might have been Chris or Mark or something.
We'll edit you in, Chris or Mark.
I remember his
Take some patch.
story. I remember his story. His sister-in-law or sister had she was pregnant and she was getting a lot of back pain and a lot of pain over her body and she didn't know what to do with it. He developed this patch, but I guess just like it's supposed to take away pain, a little
Pain patch,
injuries. Yeah, pain patch. I guess there you go.
So
pain
it's
patch.
so it's
Was
a
it lidocaine?
topical something
No, it's not.
that absorbs into your skin. That's
No,
gotta be a medical
it's a
thing,
little
right?
patch, yeah, but I guess it's supposed to absorb everything. But
Does it dissolve? Do you take it off?
no, you can take it off and put another one on here. You want to
Yeah.
try?
No,
it
no,
out?
I don't want. I don't do seconds on acid hits. That's it, baby.
Yeah, it's fine. So,
I feel
now
so much
see if you
better
feel
already.
it, right?
You do. You look
So
better.
much better. Close this up a little bit more.
But I've had a few little like aches in this week, and I think it actually does help, or it might be in my head to where if I put this patch on, all my little aches are gonna slowly go away. So I mean,
through a certain point, it's like, who cares?
yeah, as
Yeah,
long
really,
as
hey,
like I put it on,
lie to
oh
me.
shit, I'm fine.
Tell me I'm big, baby. Tell me I'm big.
Go, who cares?
That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
You find a little relief or something. Dude, I'm
If I
with it.
believe
shit.
it,
We'll
and
go to the
it's
live
worked,
after, yeah.
right?
Hey,
Yeah.
the black thing I wear on my leg, right? That knee sleeve. I don't know if it does anything. I mean, I don't understand why that would take away my arthritis pain.
Yeah.
But I wear that bitch every day, and I'm like,
But your mind
for
is
real.
saying it's supposed
I shower
to
in
do
it, I sleep in
something.
it, and I like my wife's like, babe, you walk so well today. Yeah, you fucking right, I do. I'm a man, woman. I'm a man.
What's more harder on your body? Football, MMA?
Yeah, if Buddy don't know, Matt Mitrione was in the league for a little bit of time. You played for the Vikings, didn't you?
Four seasons.
4
years.
seasons.
4 years.
4 seasons for the Minnesota Vikings. You were a tight end, which is
Giant,
mind-boggling.
no, I was a D tackle. I was a D
Fool
tackle.
ain't no tight end.
I was a pass rusher, bro.
Did you play tight end for
He
a little
No, I was
bit?
a pass
He
rusher.
can't play in space, dog.
Because he can't catch either. Like I swear
Catch
one
his
day
hands.
I swear one day you told me you played tight end for a little bit. I'm like, stop
I was
lying,
athletic
bro.
enough. I should have been.
Yeah,
I
maybe
need to be
that's what,
taller, though.
maybe we were arguing about speed. Who's faster?
Well, I think, in my opinion, this is a total derivative way of going here. We digress. But I feel that the most athletic position on the field is a tight end because they can run, block, catch, read defenses, know where the zones are, know where the holes are, and then yards after catch. If you just catch and fall down, you're not going to be in the league for long. Yeah. So there's so much athleticism there. Then I feel, so that's 1A. 1B is pass rushing D end.
Defensive ends right now
that can drop also,
crazy.
right? And corner.
Yeah.
Right? Excuse me. And then I feel after that, a free safety is a beautiful position. There's so much hips and range in a free safety. But then an H-back is the same thing, right? Because you might block a little bit, but you're mostly pass receiving and have to be athletic.
Yeah, it's kind of hybrid types to do that, right? Yeah, yeah.
I feel like the game of football has grown and developed so much. By the way, talking about that, did you see that Bill Belichick got fired?
He's going to be one.
Pats?
Got
rid of him?
got diced up, man.
Belichick might
And you
have
saw
did
that Nick
Hopefully it was a
Saban.
mutual
Nick
agreement.
Saban
On the same,
retired.
ain't that crazy? Saban and
Pete
Belichick are
Carroll
the same.
got fired.
No, did he?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard
Pete
they
Carroll
did
got
let Pete
fired.
Carroll go.
I saw
Yesterday.
something about it yesterday, but I didn't see. I saw his name, but I didn't read the other thing.
That's crazy. I think he's going nowhere.
We were so close to going to Vixens last night, bro.
You think Pete Carroll goes back to USC?
Nah, USC's kind of cooking right now, ain't they? Sarkisian left, and they had another little come up. They had a
So-
quarterback.
No, well, hold on. Well, you got to remember, USC's going back. He's going to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So USC, UCLA, Washington.
Arizona State.
Is it? Oh.
Arizona State's going
Did
to
they
Big
play
12.
the national
Arizona
title
State's Big
game?
12, yeah.
Yeah. UCLA, USC, Washington, and Oregon are going to the Big Ten. Now, I don't know how they're going to do travel.
No, it's
That's
great.
going to be serious. How are they going to do homework
We
time?
need a football-only division.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we do.
Yeah. But you asked me a question.
Or when
harder,
does it stop?
Harder
Yeah,
on
go
my body.
ahead. Go ahead.
I had, my body was more sore day in, day out from football. But I have more zippers on my body and hardware in my body from MMA. But it was easier because you can.
What, MMA was easier?
MMA was
Okay, go
easier
ahead.
because I can dictate what my body goes through, right? Yeah. And you got to think, man, like, remember the Pouncies, right? When the Pouncies would come in and hit with Henry and you guys, right? They were fucking massive, right? And there's so much like unneeded, just ignorant strength on them, right? Like those dudes could punch through me and your face at the same time and it wouldn't bother them a moment. And like they could do all that. So you think about that volume of strength on your joints, that was a lot. And I was sore a lot. But MMA, I got hurt a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I got both my orbitals. I have probably 15 zippers on me from the time I started fighting in 2009 to when I retired in 12 years.
Yeah, my body's been through some shit. I'm like the
Not for
Tin
everybody.
Man, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking shoulders and knees. And
You know, from everything you've been through, I can't believe how much chlamydia you've caught.
I can't. And I know, right? And you know what? I catch it, and magically it's gone the next day.
My body handles it,
I
dude.
don't know about
It's
that.
amazing.
Ain't no patches for that, dog. Ain't no patches for that.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm telling you,
If
bro.
I cover my pee hole with this, is that what?
It all drips out, and I'm fine the next day. I'm telling you, bro.
My wife really loves me to put up with my mouth.
She fucking better.
Michael got me today. Michael, dude, I was hitting pads. I was doing something.
Oh yeah, that was a good
And we were talking about a buddy of ours that's just a complete degenerate. And
You know a lot of those, it seems. Weird.
keep company, man. The birds of a feather, bro.
Yeah.
By the way, you know, it's something like this may be normal for adults. I don't know. But there are two words I absolutely ruin every time I try to spell them out loud. And it's the word Michael and restaurant. The Michael, because I flip-flop my E's and A's all the time.
I don't get, and that's been always a
And
thing
restaurant,
since I've been a kid. I'm like, how the fuck do
spelling.
y'all put the
Yeah.
E?
You can't spell restaurant. Go ahead. It's called spelling.
Taurant. I can do restaurant, but I got a
That's a
couple.
good
It's the double letters that mess me up.
Yeah?
Like, yeah.
Like,
know-
like took.
Does that mess you up? Like no, how about
like what the fuck?
like conscientious.
Okay.
There's no double.
Do you guys remember that commercial with Deuce Staley?
Staley.
And he was
fucking old.
from the Eagles, and it was like,
25 years.
That's what I'm
and it was
saying.
like, it was a spelling bee, and they were in class. Do you remember this?
Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum.
He got cat. Dude, I love that, dude.
I remember the hell of that, but I would have never drug Deuce Staley name out of that commercial. Chrysanthemum.
Dude, we played.
I think about that commercial every time I see that flower.
Gotcha. You know what else I think of about that little series? By the way, that was probably the NFL's best advertising they've ever done. Because we're talking about it 20 years later, right? They had Warwick Dunn, and he was
best?
like, and they had a bunch of magazines, whatever magazine covers that he was on. And then they like put Cat Fancy and then put him on Cat Fancy doing something. And he was like, that's when he got hurt and blah, blah. And he's like, I'm never doing Cat Fancy again. Like the Madden cover. I was like, dude, that's so slick. By the way, did you know, he was the hardest
He's a
running back.
superhero.
Dude, he was the hardest running back I ever tried to tackle.
Warwick
Ever.
Dunn?
He hit my arm like I was on a block.
State boy.
I was on a block and I was trying to get off and he hit the hole and his helmet hit my humerus bone. Medical. And I was like, holy shit, he broke it. Like, holy shit. This is flopping all around.
Did
like,
you run off and say, "Oh my God, my humerus bone is
dude,
broken"?
I've said I have long femurs at one point in time before, and it was totally pulled out of the dark. They were like, what?
What was Purdue playing Florida State for back then?
Say that one
Was
more
it a bowl
time.
game?
Purdue and
No, we
Florida
weren't playing
State.
Florida
This is
State.
probably in the
No,
league.
this is NFL.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We
I'm
were
sorry.
playing, I think it was my second year, I was with the Giants, and then we played him in Atlanta. And he was with the Falcons.
Yeah, he
and he
used
hit
to be
me
my favorite player.
so hard. But did you know that he actually owns part of the Falcons?
Does
He got out,
for him.
took $6 million, maybe $3. I think he said he had $6 million saved. He took $3 million, bought 1% or whatever he did, said he could. That's the dude who owns Home Depot. Blank?
Blank's the Falcons. That's not
That's
Home
what I'm
Depot.
talking
Blank's the Falcons owner. I know
Okay.
that.
But he's not Home
Depot's a
Depot?
different name.
Okay.
But they're a part. It's land. It's all in Georgia.
Okay,
They're all-
whatever that is. So anyway, so he bought 1% or whatever that $3 million could buy, and now he's turned into like $65 million.
Look up Look up work
hanging.
done and how many homes he's built.
Dude, he's done so much for the community.
He's really a superhero. Is there something with his mom? Was
Yeah,
a
his
cop
mom
that
was a
got
cop.
murdered?
Yeah.
He raised his brothers and sisters. Went to college, and now he's built like 300 homes for people. Or
Yeah,
something
Homes
like
for
that, right?
Humanity or whatever else. Dude, he is.
well.
I've never met him as a human being, but I'm good friends with Mike Allstott, right? Like he's a Purdue guy, whatever else. So, by the way, guys, I'm an academic. I went to Purdue. If you need something other than spelling, come my way.
What'd you major in?
Law and society. I was pre-law.
What?
Yeah,
What was the major?
law and society.
Oh, law and society. I thought you said made. I thought you
Law
made
and
up
society with
something.
minors in theater and communications.
Okay, right on.
Yeah,
You just made that up.
totally. It was coloring.
Theater for my future.
I think I did try to major in theater, and they were like, and Coach Tiller was like, "Nah, bro, we're
I
not."
was really cool in the theater. I loved it in high school, and
Tell me there's videos.
no, there's no videos because I never made it to the stage because I
was really into it. It never made it.
not because of my acting skills. Because we were in class one time. And one of the like flamboyant kids was saying something, and I called him a fag. I was like, "Shut your faggot ass up" or something like that, you know.
You're canceled.
And I got like right away. I got kicked out the class. I couldn't play football. I got suspended for 2 games.
Hey, Mike was a good tailback, by the way. Like,
Allegedly.
Mike was good.
Allegedly, I got some.
Once you got
skills,
skinny.
bro.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. He was good, man. Like so you came up in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Because I know I heard your name from a couple people that were coming around that you were good. Because I grew up in Illinois.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we were right
Springfield.
there. Yeah.
Thank you, my beautiful wife. I
Yeah,
call her my
man.
assistant.
That beautiful wife got
what I'm
bringing
saying?
beer shit. What am
Yeah.
I doing in life?
She ain't
man?
got time for none of your homes.
None of it.
Yeah, right. She rolled her
trying-
eyes.
I know
everything.
she hates you.
She's trying to make sure what time Rachel's opens up. Because I'm seeing some titties.
I'll take y'all to a spot. I'm telling you. I'm gonna send you.
I'm
the
not trying to
address.
catch. I'm not trying to catch crabs again,
address.
man. That's the first time was terrible.
Again, right? I let me knock on wood. I've never had them.
Yeah,
I ain't trying to have
Dude,
little pets.
I've. Dude, I've stepped on my dick all over the place, and there's 2 things I don't
Your
fuck
dick's
with.
that big?
Trust me, it's not. Like I got her with my personality. That's it. Sure. There's 2 things I don't fuck with. That's rattlesnakes and condoms, and the fact that I've never pulled down an STD just blows my mind.
What about a condom made of rattlesnake skin?
Well, that's a double negative, right? So that's good. We're good, Mike. You're well done.
Snake skin condom.
Hey, that's rib for her pleasure. Is that right? Only one way. You can't go back out. You can only go in.
Only one way.
So that's like a Mormon soaking, right? That's what they do.
Yeah, right. So, Mia, you're retired. You've been retired for a little bit.
Let me hold on. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I've been wanting to see him come back and fight.
No.
Like, bare knuckle fight. She says no. She screams at me no every time.
Matthew told me, if not his last fight, the fight before that, he said, "Buddy, whenever I retire, you will not see or hear from me ever again."
know, but
and
we'll
I
see
turned
it.
around on Monday and he's in my damn gym. I was like, "Damn, I
Yeah.
thought this motherfucker was done."
I'm doing this because you guys need a moral lift, right? Because I come in here.
moral or morale?
Both of them. Because I'm
Same spelling.
ethically clean, right?
Ethically.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah, you sure you went to Purdue?
What
Yeah.
ethics are we talking about?
yeah. Well, because I'm just
Podcast
saying,
ethics?
you guys, listen, I know what happens in South Florida. I'm not around here because I know what happens when I am here. And I know what happens with you because you got to wash your sheets.
I've
Actually,
been behaving myself.
you should
bro.
probably burn those sheets that you sleep on.
You know, it was funny. I was thinking about that the other night.
Defogger.
I was like,
defog it.
Yeah.
I was like, I
put a bug
really
bomb
do
in
need
there.
to do something with these fucking sheets. Like,
Hey,
How
dude,
often you wash them, Mike?
don't do that. Don't do that. Mm-mm. What's that?
once every week. I wash my sheets every week, bro. What you
Obviously.
talking about?
You know what I
I've had
found?
one pair of sheets for so long, bro.
Dude, I was thinking about this the other day. My sheets get changed all the time, but as a kid, I can't ever remember getting
no.
sheets
If I didn't
changed.
have a wife, no chance. I'm clean. Like I would like. It takes me a while to get something, but I have no problem getting to it. She's Johnny on the spot where like as soon as we finish something, like I'm cooking, she takes what I'm still using and puts it away. And I'm like, dude, I need you to slow down. And she's like, that's how I'll get it back out for you.
You guys
Like that's
are
how
so
that
cute.
works.
So
Yeah.
cute. Yeah.
Oh, dude, she's my dude. So I was gonna say this about sheets. We love like stretchy kind of t-shirt sheets, right, or whatever else. But it seems like every time that we fall in love with some kind of like a product, whoever we got it from stopped selling it. Like,
What's your brand? Come on. What's your brand?
Mama, do you remember
What brand y'all on?
what kind of T-shirt it is?
Oh, you
Jersey
got-
sheets or something?
T-shirt. Oh, sheets. Yeah. the
Whatever it
jersey
is. But they're great sheets. And we also have these flannel sheets because Indiana gets so cold in the wintertime. So we have like these flannel sheets that we haven't put on yet because it hasn't really gotten cold. But when we get home, bro, it's like 7 degrees and -3.
Ooh, yeah,
7 and -3.
that.
What is
I
that?
saw Iowa's bad right now too.
Oh,
Hey, man, I'm telling you this. I'm finding ways and reasons to move my family out of Indiana and come down south. But we might be more Texas than we are Florida, though.
yeah, I think you're more Texas.
They try this Bowling Branch.
Florida's a
Bowling Branch sheets, mama.
Yeah?
Bowling Branch.
All quality.
I like the way you're talking.
I'm not even getting paid. I bought them.
Are they stretchy?
I don't know. They're soft.
See, I like stretchy
comfy.
sheets. I like it like when I'm moving my feet around or something, it moves with it versus like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
You know, mine been fucking shrinking. Like, I got a corner that comes off every time I'm sleeping or I got something. I'm like, well,
that's because you're bloated.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that why it happens? All right, maybe I need to cut that out, bro. Stop getting so much salt or something. Because I'm getting tired of I'll be in the middle of the night and the fucking sheet just pop off.
Dude, that's the worst, dude.
And I'm sleeping on my mattress.
I know you
And
feel
I'm
like the lines on your face, and you're like, dude, how did this happen? Are you
wake
an
up,
active
my
sleeper?
fucking hair's all over the bed. I'm like, fuck.
Are you an active sleeper? Like, do you twist and turn a lot?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah,
Do
dude.
your shoulders ever bother you, or it's just you're just active? You get too
shoulders
hot.
because of my neck, and so I got to sleep on a pillow or no pillow, like a little one. Like,
Do you
yeah,
have
I'm all
like
fucked up.
one pillows that came in this pillow, like it's nasty, or it's like a really good one, or something like that?
It's my ghost bed pillow. Shout out ghost bed, and that's where my bed came from.
Really?
Ghost bed. Yeah, you know these people, the Werner. They were the Werner group of the truckers. You know that?
Yeah,
You ever seen
W-E-R-N-E-R.
Werner? Yeah, Werner truck. They're
Yeah.
everywhere, up and down. So apparently, this guy's like great grandfather made made like the aluminum for the like airplanes and like the ladders in like a world, yeah, like that. So they got all this generational money. So I'm talking to these guys. He's like, yeah, and I've had a bunch of neck surgeries.
I remember
and-
going down there with you.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I just said, hey, what the hell? I might as well get into something new. And he built
Started
the
making mattresses.
ghost bed mattresses, yeah, because of their neck injuries and pillows and sheets. So it's like, man, a lot of money. You can do it. Whatever the fuck you want to do.
So
Right?
funny you brought mattresses up because she has a mattress that I think is too soft. She loves, and she wanted to get rid of it for whatever reason, right? Probably because I didn't sleep very well and I twist and turn a lot. Then I got a mail order bed, like an internet bed, and it was like I don't know, $1,500-$1,600, something like that.
Just come in a box.
Yeah, it did.
Strange,
no,
right?
Yeah, something like that.
one of those, yeah.
And it so it inflated up, and it's got coils or whatever else in it, right? And I think the bed is great. I really like it a lot. But she's like, dude, I don't sleep well on it. It's too much. But we
firm.
went and tried on, a Stearns and Foster, some king size bed, whatever else, and it was like 4 G's. And we were like, oh, we'll try this one out. It was like $1,800, $1,500 or something like that, and it was a great bed. But now she's like, dude, I don't want it anymore. So now we're like, I think there might be a return policy, or we just goes in the guest bedroom. But now I need to find the new bed.
Ghost bed, hit them up. I even think those dudes made the process of putting a mattress in a box.
Oh, like shrink wrapping it and all that? That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah,
About
right?
3 mattresses. That's a mattress. It comes in a box.
It just comes in a box.
Yeah.
It pops it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you guys a couple that sleeps in separate bedrooms?
I think you already know that answer.
Y'all not at that age, are you?
We're like back in the 50s now. Nah, but I snore bad. Especially after my surgery. I snore bad. So like I wear a mouthpiece. Like that's like so I was reading all the science about why people snore, and apparently it's being slack jawed when you sleep. Like when your muscles relax, your bottom jaw slips back. And when it slips back, like your uvula, whatever the hell that thing is, your punching bag thing, drops back, and that's where the airflow restriction, that's where you snore. So you buy a double mouthpiece, and you leave it in there when you sleep. I spit it out when I sleep. I try to wake up and get it because she'll get up and leave sometimes, which I'm like, dude, why am I even married if you're going to get up and leave? Like, might as well just rent you for a while. But then, like, so I'll put it in, and she's like, you don't snore at all. Dude, I was so bad for a while, she even bought earplugs, like Bose noise canceling somethings, like to wear at nighttime. They do like what, Mama, like a white noise or something. Yeah, they do some kind of white noise something. And she was
The
like,
whole room is vibrating. Matthew.
might have been peeling paint off that wall. Whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's good to know.
Do you sleep well, though?
I sleep well. I don't snore. I don't have that throat problem like you got. That must be something gay. I don't
Yeah, it's probably from sucking on that dick.
Sucking dick, right?
That's probably what goes.
Yeah, I don't
I
suck
try to
dick,
keep it all in there, like store it as lozenges.
Yeah, I know. I know college, you had to make college money and everything. I know times are rough in Purdue.
You know what's wild? Like all the money, like how people are like saying they're not going to go to the NFL because they make so much money in college.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a mess, right?
Dude, and so my son, my son Jacob, right? He goes by Porter, but Jacob is he's 18. He's a senior in high school, right? And he's getting recruited by a couple Division I, like real universities, and a couple like 1AAs, whatever else. And a lot of the conversations are like, hey man, like there's
give me?
well, A, yeah, and B, like there's not a lot of scholarships in major programs
For high school kids.
for high school kids anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's like 1AA or like whatever the fuck they call it is now like the new 1A, because you'll go there, they have money, they'll give you a little something, you won't get NIL money. But then once you grow and establish yourself, I think even Dion said something about this in the interview. Or like once you establish yourself in a position of like you've grown, you've put on muscle, you've become this person, you've learned how to play that role. Now we'll cherry pick you out and bring you up here, and this is your chance to get in the show.
Yeah.
Well, Marvin Harrison Jr. Got offered exceeding of a rookie. What's the top
Really?
10
Yeah.
called?
Yeah, sure.
Or top 10 picks or the whatever, but
Lottery or not?
whatever he got offered would exceed any rookie contract he could ever get at Ohio State.
What he got offered in Ohio State would exceed.
To come back.
Yeah,
any-
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember seeing
Lottery pick. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. He said that. To
Manning.
Arch.
Oh,
At
the
Texas.
young one, the young one.
They said that
yeah.
dude pulls down 2.8 and he hasn't even played yet. And the dude who's like killing it rookie year in the NFL is pulling like 870.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
What, dude?
bro.
Now-
yeah, and then the name and everything.
Yeah.
But that's great because these
But
kids
I get to see
now,
Olivia Munn because of that. or Olivia-
I don't know. I don't know as far as like competitiveness
Yeah, but
across everything. If this is a good thing for a good
Yeah, but
direction
what
for
do
college
you
football.
They got to
think-
fix it.
Yeah,
And then
but
everybody's sitting down at bowl games too.
Yeah,
Right?
It's
But
all
also put it
that
this,
whole
what do
same
you think
thing.
that these kids would be like, okay, well, maybe I can focus on my education and my career and not even worry about the league and build what I have in my mind to go build a businessman or anything and everything because I got all this money. Like I don't need to go to the
There,
league.
100%. There's a lot of people that's gonna kick them in the nuts for sure. There's a lot of people that always said they didn't play because they loved it. They played because they kind of had to or they could, and knew that the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold was there,
Right.
there, and so they would play for 5 years, get into their second contract, make a year or two on that money, and then bail, right? But now there's even now I'm thinking about it. I was watching another something on sports, and they were talking about Dion. They were talking about University of Colorado. And they were talking about why would you ever go there or send your kids there? Because the only people that are getting money are Dion's kids or the other kid.
Travis
but no,
Hunter. I saw
yeah,
that, yeah.
but no, you saw that too.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I don't know how valid that is, but I would sure as hell would think about it. Like, well, if you're getting $6 million, is that the lion's share of all the NIL money that's going to be here, right? Or is there plenty enough to bread to break off everybody else? But if not, all you're doing is getting exposure for him and his kids to make more money. Now, I'm not trying to be left-handed here, but that might make some sense.
I think it makes a little sense to it.
Yeah.
And there was a couple other schools listed for different reasons. I think I know exactly what you're talking about, but I
think I always
it's
saw
like
that sound
it's
right.
like there's no rules anymore, man. It's the college
What's the
football
law?
is the wild west.
They can't
as far
like
as
it,
like
man.
eligibility to and list
And the
all
transfer
of it.
portal, dude, the
Yeah.
transfer portal is nuts.
It's a mess.
Like now you have to sit out, so you can it is literally the same as NBA.
During the season.
One
Sit
year
out.
in, and that's it, buddy. Like you play today. That's
Everything's became easier, right? In a sense.
it. Well, it's instant gratification.
when I was in high school coming in, I always felt like it was really fucking hard to get into a good college and be able to play ball and do everything. Like everything had to be like damn near perfect to a T. Like
100%.
this is what we want you to do. If you don't meet any of these, then you can't come here. You got to go to a D2 school or a JUCO school for a year, and then we'll think about everything else.
Well, so that's interesting you say that because I fell victim to that because I was such a lazy academic in high school. I wouldn't even honor myself to call myself an academic. I was such a lazy bum in high school academically that I had a 1.42 GPA.
You did the bare minimum.
Yeah, I did literally and just got passed through.
Because they tell
Right.
you, hey, you can't play football unless you get a C or a D average.
Cool.
Okay, that's
Sounds
all
great.
I'll do then.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it's
then I ended up being good in football, right? And I was like, all the accolades, whatever else. Okay, and all these schools come knocking on the door, and they're like, Is that a joke? Like, there's no chance you're getting in there. Like, what the hell are you
at your
talking about?
grades.
Yeah. So then I actually had a redshirt in high school. I had to go to high school for 5 years and sit out my 5th year. Like, I had to do a double senior year because my GPA was so
How the
bad.
hell am I just now knowing this?
You didn't know so?
That makes sense.
Oh,
You couldn't think that gets
A red shirt senior in high school.
Honestly, it was bad. It was
Red shirt
embarrassing. And I went to the same city. I went to Catholic high school first for 4 years, and then I went to a public high school. And I had to retake literally like
All the
freshman classes. Yeah, all of them. I mean, at 1.42, but I had more D's than C's in high school. Like, how's that work?
Yeah, but that's what they breeded, and it was terrible. Like, why couldn't it be a B minus or a B average for me to play sports? Like, you're telling me all I gotta do is do C's and D's?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do the bare minimum as long as I can go play football, as long as I can go wrestle and do everything. And they almost said, like, don't worry about grades, just go do whatever.
You know, I should have. I'm glad you just said wrestling because you guys are two perfect people for me to address this with.
Oh shit.
My son Jacob, right? He started wrestling at 175, was 12-3. Was like, you know what? I'm gonna drop to 165. I'm gonna do a little something because, like, you know, the playoffs or whatever they call it, like postseason wrestling, whatever is coming up. I'm gonna drop to 165. So he dropped to 160 because he was like 174-ish to wrestle 175. Then he drops to 165. And dude, he's 500. He's like 5-5 and just gotten fucking throttled at it. And he's like, dude, he texts me and he's like, dude, I don't understand what the fuck is going on because
The myth of weight cutting.
I don't know much about wrestling. I don't know, but it looks like he's doing everything right. He's aggressive. He's athletic. He doesn't tie up.
Maybe the guys are a little bit more athletic.
That's what I told him. I was like, listen, dude, like
bit more technically
you're equally
refined.
strong as them now. Like you're not at a dick because he's not very strong physically. I was like, but now they're just as quick
Probably
as you
minimum
are.
is little speed difference.
Yeah. And he's so frustrated. I'm like, dude, I don't
Just
tell
wrestle,
you.
man.
It's
Smaller's
I
not better. I refuse to believe smaller in wrestling that smaller is better.
Yeah.
I moved up weight classes almost every year I ever competed.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Now, is that because you were so good? Is that because you cleaned out that division and you wanted more competition?
No, that's not really a thing. You know, it's a thing kind of, you can do that in MMA. In wrestling, you just kind of wrestle your schedule. So
Yeah.
I certainly wasn't, I needed energy. I needed energy in legs or I was just okay. And I could have made 174, but it just didn't make no sense. Why not be big, happy, healthy, and fly around? Then you could train, right?
Yeah.
And cutting weight, you really can't train the way you need to and things like that.
You know the Cornell wrestler, Vito? Yeah. So he's really good, right? His father got interviewed. Apparently his father was some world champ or something like that,
His
right?
father's a very good coach.
So they was interviewing his father, and I just sent this to Jacob today, actually. And they were like, you know, he has a pretty thick accent, wherever they're from, probably Eastern Bloc, whatever. Yeah. And he's like, I always get asked, you know, or Vito asked me, hey, what's your plan? He's like, I don't have a fucking plan. He's like, I react. He's like, they show me this, I shoot this. He's like, I do this, I shoot that. He's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, I don't ever go in with an anticipation of, hey, this is probably how it's gonna go. I just go in and know I'm gonna fucking get down. And that's the answer. And I sent that to him and I was like, hey, maybe it's paralysis by analysis. Maybe you're just thinking I'm a beast these dudes, and you're not. So let's change that mentality up. But before we get to playoffs, or whatever the hell it's called, let's do this shit. Let's fix it now. But I feel like he does everything he's supposed to do. It just, the breaks he caught last year, because he went pretty deep in the state run. Right. And I feel like all the breaks he got last year, he's just not getting those breaks. Well, let's change that shit. Whatever we're doing, let's flip the script. But you guys are both wrestlers, so I wanted to know that mentality.
Yeah. No, I just let him go out there and wrestle, man.
Turn your brain off.
Yeah, sometimes, I'm gonna, you make up all these plans in your head, right? I'm gonna go down a weight class, such and such is there, such
I'm
and
going
such there.
10-0 in this
I
tournament.
know, I'll
and
beat
blah,
them,
blah.
blah, blah. Yeah. We just make it way too complicated. Just wrestle.
You know, I was watching those dudes yesterday.
Because you can overthink that.
Yeah.
All that shit.
Paralysis by analysis, right?
Yeah, you can overthink
Watching
that shit.
those dudes yesterday, those like the champs and the Olympic guy and whatever, although I wanted to drop names, I don't think I want their names dropped or not. They were so good at their flow wrestling, and it was so casual, but it was so advanced. I was like almost mesmerized by them. And I'll be honest, I was really impressed by the Dagestanis or whoever the Eastern Bloc kids that we have on. Like they're like hit the ground, transition, go back into this thing, but this, like they flowed so well at such a high tempo. It was really impressive, man. You guys have a squad, bro.
I think so. One of the things that I'm proud of, kind of as a coach, hearing you say that too, is whatever we've done, not just me, but whatever we've done collectively, we found a way to make wrestling enjoyable. our team is passionate about wrestling.
You guys have more
remember-
people on Wrestling Wednesday than you do on other days, which I was shocked by.
Quite often.
Yeah.
Quite often. And I don't know if you remember the days back in the day, there would be a quarter of the people at wrestling
100%.
practice.
It would be like a 25% pop-up.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So, so no, I love hearing that kind of shit.
I think because you guys have just beat it into our heads.
We have to.
Well, you also make it competitive too. It's not miserable.
Well, that's the thing. Look, to
competitive.
both of your points, that's kind of, I readjusted my approach, not somewhat recently, but relatively recent, that I don't run practices. I run training sessions. You know, I run training. There's maybe some practice, I think of a certain pace and tempo to it that isn't quite work. But if I make it a training atmosphere with some teaching and some coaching, some technical aspects of it, but also incorporate the training aspect rather than you do one, I do one.
That had to take you years of knowledge and experience to understand how to change, modify from a John Smithian type of practice or a
There's definitely a feel and an art to it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I was thinking about
that couldn't have been easy.
I was thinking about driving this to my gym in the morning. You know, I think we do have a good team, and I think we are doing a good job. And there's always room for improvement. I think I personally and professionally have grown tremendously inside of MMA, but I'm still only as good as the information Henry gives them, whether it be personal and striking and fighting. I'm still only as good as Henry is only as good as the single leg defense that I supply them. You know what I mean? So I don't think I'm the coach I am in a different atmosphere. That's why I don't mind sharing information. I'm starting a coaches course. I don't mind sharing information and footage because you still have to paint the picture. You still have to have a collection of cool, good, quality individuals, not the snake oil guys. It's a lot in MMA, right?
Do this and do that.
So I want
to the basics,
and I don't want
get it
to
done.
like show doubles and single legs, but I want to educate coaches.
Yeah.
You know, on building out a program, what incorporates a good program, and letting them know that it can be done in MMA. It doesn't have to be kind of a dark, dingy, sweaty, smelly gym.
You spoke about coaches' corner, circle, is that what you called it? Online coaching is what you've been doing. Yeah. Go ahead, break us down for the
No, that was just it. We're launching live on it's on live on Discord now.
What's Discord? Is that an app?
It's a server.
Okay.
So I want to be able to create the most interactive coaching experience anywhere, right? Like I said before, is I don't want to say here's my single leg. Here's one. I can do that. I don't enjoy doing it very much because there's so much of that kind of content out there. But if I can really communicate some of the things that I look for, especially I feel like a lot of athletic concepts are overlooked in MMA, how a guy moves, how he bends, how he reacts. Incorporate kind of those kind of things and just things from not just MMA but wrestling that I've accumulated and make it interactive to where we can almost make it organic and build and play off of each other and maybe with that layout kind of customize it to each individual. That's my goal. I hope I have some good quality people willing to learn show up. Go ahead, Matt.
You know, I find it interesting simply because that you guys quite literally at the gym have the probably 50 out of the top 300 best athletes in MMA, period, in the gym on a daily basis. So like you're almost inundated with so much capability that you can show this and 85% could be able to pick that up or understand it, right? I live in the middle of Indiana, right? There's a local gym here and they've asked me to be a striking coach for it. And it's so underwhelming that I don't even know like how to respond to it. Like I go in there and I'm like, dude, like I don't even know like what you guys are even, who started that? Like, and then I don't want to come in there and just kick the walls down.
That's where I struggle at too. Right. I struggle with the same thing. Like, where do I start?
Where you guys are at now, like I have dudes that are like, that shouldn't have even been 8th grade senior.
him off.
Right. Sure, they would have started on JV as a senior. Like, I don't even know how to handle that conversation. And I walk in, I'm like, dude, I don't, like, you just caused me stress just from walking in here and watching you try to do a straight to a foot sweep to someone else. I'm like, dude, just, I need you to stop.
You're doing too much,
Right?
dog.
You're doing too much. Like, you way surpassed your pay grade that you're not even getting.
Yeah.
Go teach your BJJ then, Matt.
Where can everybody find or sign up for the coaches?
Like I said, it's Coach G Jones Wrestling MMA on Discord, and of course my Instagram is Coach G Jones. Hit me on either if you want to, inquire more information. Hit me, send me a message on Instagram, and we'll get the information to you.
You know, let me co-sign on this one too. Even though I never took to wrestling, I always appreciated.
But you did.
You tried 4 or 5 different. I can remember when I came back and tried this. You're like,
you did.
Let's try this. Let's try that. You tried so many different approaches to help me acclimate to but it was my own mental block where like I couldn't get away from the tension or the stress of when somebody grabbed me. Fuck. And you're like, just stop, just do this. And you would tell me these certain things, like to kick the can a little further down the road. and I wasn't able to embrace it. But I always appreciated the fact that like you had creative approaches to try to settle what I was going through. And I value that.
The internal conflict.
Yeah, for sure.
No, you were always a student, man. I wouldn't say you were my number one wrestling student, but the willingness was always there.
For sure.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
was. Didn't you knock out somebody with a hip? Like sprawl,
Field of freeze.
Yeah,
in Sweden.
Yeah, I remember
In
that.
Sweden, dude,
That wasn't a sprawl. That was just weight. He fell on him.
Yo, so we were backstage, and my referee was Mark Goddard, who's British. Phil DeFries is British, and we were in Sweden. And I go, hey, man. He was so pissed when I said this. I go, hey, man, I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I'm going to knock him out really fast. So, like, I need you. Don't let me bang his face on the canvas. Like, I don't want you to hurt him. So don't give him home field advantage because you know he can make it out. I'm going to hurt him, so stop this shit quick. I beat him in 16 seconds, and I was dribbling his face off the canvas, and I almost looked at him and like, dude, fucking stop this thing. And Henry looked at me like, I can't believe you just fucking said that.
That was the thing about Matt, though. You didn't know what was going to happen, but you knew something was going to happen.
Something
there was going to be
right?
a bunch of activity and shit was going to go on.
Yeah,
dramatic
we
in the
knew
best
that.
ways.
Yeah, that's good. Matt, thank you so much for joining us on Menace Mike this episode. It's always great.
No doubt,
to hear
man.
from you.
Hope I
Good
didn't steal
seeing
too much airway from y'all.
You take all the
never,
air.
never,
Always,
never, bro.
everywhere.
But definitely, when you get back in town, we gotta have you on again.
For sure.
Get into some more stories. Anything else before we get out of here?
I got nothing. But I want to say, I really appreciate the gym. You guys have done a great job. It is one hell of a gym. Mike, you've been in the game for so long, and you've always maintained exactly who you are. As much of a douchebag as you are now, you've been the same douchebag from the day you stole that girl from me in Toronto that we didn't talk about.
I know, right? We can't talk about it. Fuck. We got to talk about that on the next episode. Well, we got a little bit of time. Long story short, I stole this girl from Matt when we first started talking. I get back to the hotel. I get back to the hotel room, and her fucking boyfriend calls. And she's on the phone screaming at him, and she's like, yeah, I'm in this room with this UFC fighter. We just got done fucking, and you want to come to this hotel? And I'm like, bitch, you got to go. All right? Like, you got to get the fuck out of here right now.
Thank you, Michael.
I was like, no problems at all. Oh, boy. But we'll get more into that. Everybody, thank you guys for joining. Shout out to Get Biofuel, Impact Dental Design, Face Meets Fist, and we'll check in with you guys next week. Thank you.
Yeah.
Peace, no rice.